Moving Iron Podcast is proud to be part of the Global Ag Network. The network is going live soon, so check out globalagnetwork.com for more details and updates. Now on to the show.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving iron.
Good morning and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast Market Rundown with Chip Nellingre. Chip, man, it looks like to me the government shutdown has still kind of got people just kind of throwing darts out there as to what's going on in the markets.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Casey. It's really frustrating out there. Literally, sometimes in the same day, but certainly every other day, you get one story that says, the trade talks are going really well, making good progress. Some other government official, possibly the same day, several hours later, says, no, it's really bogging down. We're not making good progress at all. Market doesn't know what to think on that. But rightfully so, no one does, because we're getting conflicting information. We did have a nice close for the week last week. But as has been the case for several months, really, just when you think like, all right, we're going to finally do something to the upside here, you reverse and head back into the lower end of the range. So we didn't get any help over the weekend here. We had some pretty negative trade data out of China, kind of indicating that maybe they're going to start into a bigger slowdown here. As they go, kind of the world economy goes. Obviously, you can argue that is coming from, or at least partially caused by these tariffs and trade wars. So maybe they're going to have a little better incentive to try to get something done. But that's the environment we're in, man. It's pretty brutal. Back and forth, the government shut down. So we're not getting any export data. There's been strong rumors that China booked some U.S. corn and wheat, but we're not getting the daily or weekly reporting, so we don't know. Not only is China buying, but who else is buying? So it just really makes it hard for the market when there's just a kind of a lack of information here. But with all that being said, it's holding its own. And like I said, we had a pretty good close for the week last week. The wheat market has some reasons here with seems like rising cash wheat prices in Europe and Russia on a daily basis that we probably are going to garner some better export sales business here in wheat. But, until we get the government reopened and get these export sales reports flowing, we just don't know to what extent. So we're trudging along here. We're still in the middle of the range. Beans pretty much, basically kind of in the upper third of a 7-month trading range here. So we just don't seem to have enough news to push us dramatically higher. We don't seem to on the same breath have negative enough news to push us to the bottom side of that, and so we're just left to slop in here back and forth.
The cattle market's kind of doing the same thing. I mean, there's not much difference there as what you see going on there.
Yeah, cattle have acted a little bit better, just simply because of all these winter weather, winter storms we've been having. And then in between the winter storms, you get warm-ups, it's muddy conditions. So really poor feeding conditions, not very good on feed conversion, not very good on weight gain. So we did last week push up into new highs in cattle, but then kind of reversed and didn't trade very well into the end of the week. Same old story there, though. Back and forth between are we going to get anything done on the China side? The hog market's really been pretty beat up in here. Just can't seem to get much going on the hog side, and that's all China. We need some news. There's strong hope that China's going to take U.S. pork, but again, we just don't know because there's a general lack of news here. So I guess if anything, cattle are holding up well fundamentally because of all these winter storms and the poor feed conversions that you're seeing in the plains. But even the cattle market's struggling a little bit in here.
Yeah. So how is Snowmageddon 2019 out there? I mean, you guys sound like you got hammered pretty well, and you got some more coming your way.
We've had more snow than we've had in probably a few years. Not this past weekend, but a weekend ago, we had a photo. First time we've had that in years and years and years. And then we followed up here this past weekend with 4 or 5 inches and a bunch of wind. And so the roads, aren't real great. We're supposed to get, it's hard to believe because we're in the low 20s right now, but I guess it's going to warm up, and they say there's a little bit of freezing rain coming today. Just like every other day, we've got a winter weather advisory. We've had freezing fog, last week. It's a little bit of everything. But it's that time of year, and we've been really lucky the last few years, so we haven't had too bad of a run of it up until this winter. But the thing is, before that, we've had a lot of rain as well. From a soil profile standpoint, we're really recharging these soils. We ought to be coming into spring in really good shape across the board, really from the north to clear down into the south. Having a lot of good recharging our soil. But the problem is we didn't get much field work done in areas, so we're going to have a pretty good spring to get some field work done, because that could affect planted acreage. But from a moisture standpoint, I think we're really going to start the season out in good shape. Of course, that's not going to carry you through all the way through the heat of summer, but should be starting out in pretty good shape here. And the next battle that we fight is acreage. Hopefully the government's back open by the end of March when we're supposed to get that acreage report. But that's really in question here, and the market still has to fight that out as to what are we going to plant. Corn, beans, cotton's going to be in that mix, and that's probably one of the biggest questions in many, many years as well, is how's the acreage going to sift out, and that's yet to be played out in the market, and that could be a big battle.
Yeah. So, hey, plenty of stuff going on like usual. This probably is a pretty good time to start thinking about your plan for 2019 if you haven't already done that here the 22nd day of January. So you're trying to keep ahead of the curve, and if these reports start coming out and you start seeing some positive news, there could be some pretty good moves to make here when the government opens back up. So if you guys want to work on a plan or have a plan they want you to review, how would they do that?
Yeah, best way is just call our office at 309-550-7213. And you hit the nail on the head. It is definitely the time to be planning, having offers above the market. We've seen it, in weeks and days past, where you get a tweet overnight about China. You wake up 6 in the morning, the market's beans 12, 14, 18 higher. Then you get a conflicting story during the day, and you give all those back. So you got to have offers in, you got to have a plan, and that's critically important. And everybody's starting to kind of meet with their bankers about renewing lines of credit for the 19 for the spring, and that's a little bit of an eye-opening experience for guys as well. So those bankers are starting to want a better plan of attack on the marketing. So it's as critical as it ever has been.
Yep. So if the data that I'm reading and guys I'm talking with and people I've interviewed and those kind of things are true, it sounds like to me it's going to be a late spring, and it's going to be up against the wall again as usual, and there could be a significant weather market here developing going into spring planning. So like you said, plan's always important, and knowing where you're at and what you need to be doing. So folks, if you haven't started a plan or you're reviewing a plan or something like that, make sure you reach out to Chip, and he can point you in the right direction as to what you're doing.
We'd love to help you, Casey.
All right, Chip. Well, hey, safe travels. Make sure you get yourself an extra coat today, and we'll talk to you again on Sunday.
I got her 4-wheel drive. We'll see what happens.
Right on, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Moving Iron Podcast. Remember, if you want to continue any of these conversations, you can hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Moving Iron LLC. You can also send me an email at movingironpodcast@movingironpodcast.com. You can also visit the Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel. Here you can find Morning Market Roundup with Chip Nellinger and Angie Setzer. Also, Tax Moves with Glenn Birnbaum. Moving Iron Podcast is proud to be part of the Global Ag Network. The network is going live soon, so check out globalagnetwork.com for more details and updates. You'll be able to hear Dryline Farmer Podcast, Girls Talk Ag, the Topsoil Podcast, Ag News Daily, Working Cows, Heifer Please, Throwback Iron, and Ask Agnes. Please visit movingironllc.com. Here you can find information, details, and updates for the 2019 Moving Iron Summit in Nashville, Tennessee. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can leave a review and subscribe at your favorite podcasting platform. And you can find this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, and SoundCloud. So until next time, let's go move some iron. This is Casey Seymour. Out.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here.